President Trump has threatened to close the U.S.-Mexico border next week if the flow of undocumented immigrants coming into the U.S. continues. In El Paso, Texas, the growing number of migrants crossing the border seeking asylum has caused border authorities to erect a makeshift holding pen under a bridge there due to a shortage of space. Most of those migrants are from Central American countries like Honduras, where gang violence and crime have caused some to join the caravans of people leaving there and trying to make it here. In the second part of her four-part series, Fleeing Home, NewsHour Weekend special correspondent Marcia Biggs reports from a part of Honduras that embodies all the issues causing people to flee. She also finds there are many looking to stay and make the best of their lives in their home nation. Her reporting was supported by a grant from the Pulitzer Center.
From high above, San Pedro Sula looks beautiful, calm, an idyllic city nestled in the Honduran hills. But on the outskirts of town, in the district of Rivera Hernandez, over 100,000 people live in abject poverty under the control of gangs. We got special permission to enter the area, but we're told we have to keep our windows down so gang lookouts can keep an eye on us. Trash piles up in the street, even the animals are malnourished. Drinking water is contaminated, and we're told that hungry children sometimes eat the sardines found swimming in open sewage lines.
So we're at ground zero for all the problems here in Honduras, whether they be poverty or violence. Rivera Hernandez is one of the most dangerous districts in San Pedro Sula, and it's controlled by gangs. It really feels like a forgotten world here. You'd never know that we're 10 minutes from the center of town.
The most infamous gangs in this district?
Okay. MS-13.
MS-13 and the 18th Street Gang. Both were born in the streets of Los Angeles during the 1970s and 80s, but spread to El Salvador and Honduras in the early 90s, when members of their ranks were deported. Here in Honduras, they've divided up the area, running their sectors like organized crime syndicates. Play by their rules and stay on your own turf, and you won't get hurt. Pastor Danny Pacheco has lived here his whole life, and like most pastors in the area, works as an intermediary between the community, the gangs, and local police.
I've been doing this for many years, and I am who I am. I stay neutral. All we do is try to help who we can in any community. The gangs know who you are, so I think with the passing of years, we've earned a level of trust with them and their respect.
Do you ever fear for your life? ¿Tienes miedo de tu vida?
Always.
The government has touted a recent decline in homicide rates, but violence is still rampant. Fear of retribution keeps people from reporting crimes, and when they do, fewer than 5% are even investigated, much less tried. Abandoned homes dot the landscape, left by those fleeing extortion and violence. The gangs often turn these houses into dens for kidnapping, rape, and torture. They're dubbed casas locas, which is Spanish for crazy houses. Hoping to bring some life back into the neighborhood, Pacheco is turning this former Casa Loca into a Casa de Esperanza, a house of hope, a kind of community center where kids can have a place to go.
What's the future for a kid growing up in this neighborhood in Rivera Hernandez?
It's very uncertain, because in some ways we have a lot of kids who are good students. But if someone says, I'm going to burn my eyes studying so many hours and years and then not be able to get a job, what's the motivation for our youth to study?
But Pacheco says the biggest problem here isn't violence, it's poverty. Parents can't afford to buy school supplies and uniforms. 1 in 4 children in Honduras doesn't finish primary school.
They have these thoughts about what might happen to them in the future, and a gang comes along and presents to them how much they earn, the type of life they have. It's the best offer they get, so they join the gang.
Pacheco says around 3/4 of the kids in his community have joined. Some others join the caravans of migrants heading to the United States.
People continue to leave, all despite threats from President Donald Trump, who has military at the border and can fire shots at people. The goal is for people to get desperate and turn back. Despite all that, people keep leaving the country. If the United States invests less in the wall and more in reducing poverty in these countries, I'm sure it will fix the problem.
The United States is supplying aid to Honduras. In 2017, $181 million went to programs designed to make Honduras safer and to curb drug trafficking. In the process, the U.S. hopes to make it less likely that Hondurans will want to immigrate. The U.S. State Department and USAID funneled a majority of that cash toward the country's security institutions, military and police. The government built new so-called American-style prisons, rounding up and incarcerating gang members. But this also bolstered the authority of institutions that are notoriously corrupt. In the case of the military, when protests erupted over the 2017 election of President Hernandez, security forces allegedly killed over 24 people with impunity. In the case of police, victims of crime are often afraid to make reports for fear that police will inform on them to members of the gangs. Olga Casele told us that she was in the car with her family when they accidentally bumped a police car and bullets started flying. She says police shot 3 of her children. Her 7-year-old son, Jose, was shot in the head.
My dad said, don't shoot, my kids are inside. But they kept going.
¿Tienes miedo de ir en la calle? Are you scared to go in the street?
Yes, I'm scared because when I'm out with him and he sees police, he gets scared and nervous. I don't wish this grief on anyone. My kids are here only because of God's grace. The police in this country are worthless. They shoot without even knowing who they are shooting at.
Because of incidents like this one, police who are trying to do right by the communities are struggling to gain their trust. Law enforcement has received U.S. dollars for new community policing and outreach programs, sending national police officers to schools to speak to students and funding this day camp. But out of the 8,000 children in this sector of Rivera Hernandez, only 100 can attend this camp. But just down the road, Jeremias Vobada is giving the children in Rivera Hernandez and even some adults another opportunity for free, training future electricians for jobs that can pay up to $20 per day, more than twice what they can make working in a shop or selling water on the street. They walk down the road together past a river of sewage to the abandoned building that Pastor Danny Pacheco is fixing up. It will be their classroom for the day as they begin the basics of electricity installation. His students range in age. Marvin Marcier is 52 years old. He lost his job at a brewing company and needs work. He shares the class with 9-year-old Isaac, who is on a winter break from school. In Honduras, even a 4th grader knows he has to learn how to feed his family.
We have spent a long time waiting for help to come from elsewhere. That's why it's important for them to learn, so they can teach each other and we can grow and get ahead within our own community. Our vision is to grow across all of Honduras by educating technicians in order to eventually build a solar panel factory to be able to grow in the field of solar energy.
20 years ago, Vobada was a drug addict, involved in trafficking for a small local gang. He understands the choices these kids are going to face.
This work keeps them off the streets and keeps their minds occupied, and this also helps them forget about the American dream. It teaches them that here in Honduras, if they have a trade, they have a tool to help support their families.
After class, Isaac took us home to meet his mother.
Hola.
Evelyn Nunez runs a small grocery store and is only able to stay afloat because her brother, who lives in Houston, sends her around $80 a month. She hands almost a quarter of that over to the gang that controls her area. Extortion is so commonplace here, they call it war tax.
Si no paga? If you don't pay?
We are obligated to pay, or they'll take everything, shut you down. We are forced to do it because if we don't, we face danger. It's very complicated here because of this.
She's proud of Isaac. He's smart and meticulous. She wants him to stay in school and says that vocational training, even at 9 years old, is equally important.
Many times he asked me, Mommy, what do you want me to do in the future? I say, honey, I want you to prepare yourself. In studies, go to college if God allows you. It's what the whole world wants with God's help.
We asked Jeremias Svoboda if he ever thought about joining a caravan like the thousands of others trying to immigrate. He said he wanted to leave the neighborhood, but not for the U.S.
With a vision, I want to go with the same technical educators trained in electricity and solar energy to different parts of this country, teaching others.
México, Estados Unidos.
Mexico, the United States.
No es mi sueño.
It's not my dream. My dream is here in Honduras, and here we are going to be.